We're in the middle of, we'll link this together now, sorry. So further has brought in the Indian the mile of the bittul of Iskafia, of matzah, which is the Avodah, which only begins the Avodah Sfiris which is ha'tשכ. But explained as the Indian of matzah bittul, both beginning the Avodah of self-refinement, and then there's a Avodah of bittul, that it's achron to Matan Torah again on a higher level, nafshik offer, the pasuk says, in order for my heart to open to your Torah, so my soul must be before all like dust. That too is the inyan of matzah. So the chiddush here, the point here is that even though matzah at the first stage is bittul and iskafia, it's self-restraint, not it's control, self-control, not refinement. And it's only a Akadama to the refinement, which is the Sviras Ha'ima, which and therefore it's lower than it. But he said that there's a mile in that bittul. There's a mile in that bittul over the ha'tשכ of Sviras Ha'ima, as we explained, that there's two kinds of Eved. There's the Eved Pasha that he doesn't want to do what he's doing, but he has no choice. He has the yoke of the Odin. And then there's the Eved that loves what he's doing and loves the Odin, and so on. So obviously, base pashtus, the second one is higher. But tell me why the first one is higher. What's the mile of the first Evet that we're speaking now in the end of Oisvav? In simple language, what's the mile of the first Evet?
It's completely about the Adon.
That what?
It's completely about the Adon.
Yeah, when you look at what he's doing, you see the Adon more than you look at the second Evet. The only reason he's doing this is because of the Adon. So it's pure Adon. He'd rather be sailing. The second Evet, you see the Evet. The Evet's devoted to the Odin, but what you're taken by and what is the teichen of what is happening here is the Evet himself. So that's the Maila of Iskafia of Rishabcha, that's the Maila of the Matz which precedes the Avodah. It's a Tanua of Ayin in Yiddish Areizgen von sich. And therefore it contains in essence, what does he say? Yesh Bazeh, look at the middle of that paragraph, the middle of the paragraph of the last paragraph of Yisvav. יש בזה מעין ודוגמה העבד בכל מאיתך, שלמעלה מהגבלת הכלים. So somebody tell me then what's the difference? And how are they similar, and yet, but they're not the same at all? The Avodah of Matzah, that begins the Avodah, that bittul, and then the bittul of B'chol Ma'itcha, V'nafsheka, V'lakel Tiyah, which is synonymous with an achana to Matan Torah. The difference in that bittul. You know, Zion's going to give us was but already, which we started. But what do you say, gentlemen? What's the difference? No, don't be, no, Zog. The bittul betchilas, the Kabbalah oil before the Avodah, and the Kabbalah oil is the culmination of Avodah. The Shema Yisrael Hashem, Lakin Hashem Echad is Kabbalah oil. And it goes through all of it. Chol Levavcha, which precedes it, Chol Nafshecha, and then Chol Ba'idcha, that's the ultimate Kabbalah oil. So the difference, it's not in the Maimer. It's something, it just says the words. What does it mean? No, somebody say, we'll sit here till Shachris. No, Yankee Zog.
I'm not sure what we're asking.
No, what we're asking is to explain. He's saying that there's a connection. In a way, the bittul that begins the iskafia is greater than the isapcha, similar to b'chol ma'itcha, which comes after the avodah of yisapcha b'chol levavcha. Two Kabbalah oil, he explained. Kabbalah oil, lifnei mitzvahs, and Kabbalah oil that comes the culmination. He said b'chol nafshecha is Torah mitzvahs, level 1. Chom Eitcha, that's already Matan Torah, that's Anoichi, that's Embassy Tzias Mitzrayim. And before that comes again the Nafshik Offer, the Avodah of Bittul Dafka. And it is the Avodah of Bittul. And I'm asking quite simply, what's the difference? Explain. He says the parallel. So what is the parallel and wherein lies the distinction, the difference? Obviously, the Kabbalah's oil that begins the Avodah of Yiskafia cannot be the same as the Kabbalah's oil of a Yid. It's refined, it's a mensch. He's b'chol levavcha, b'chol nafshecha. What's his Kabbalah's oil there? In other words, we understand the Kabbalah's oil before the Avodah, because he's unrefined. He's never Shabbamis betokva, and he's got to rein him in. And it's tremendous discipline and restraint and Avodah and breaking himself. It's obvious. That's the Avodah of Matzah there. But what's the Avodah of Matzah and B'chol Ma'itcha?
Even after a person refines himself, he has to.
I can't hear what Chaim says. The pitch doesn't work. Okay, you speak, then I'll repeat what you said.
Even though he refined himself during Sfira Sa'imer, nevertheless, he still needs to stick back to the original program of Iskafia, which is Kabbalah Sil, because after a person has his Avodah, he may get carried away a little bit with himself. That look what he accomplished, and he's got to stick back to the original program of Iskafia.
Someone summarize? I didn't hear. What do you say?
But even after the
Speak up. Sorry.
even after the avodah of refinement and so on, and the whole avodah series of Eimer, he said, yeah, to go back to the original program of Kabbalah Soil, to not get too excited with yourself and the refined midas and so on after.
Okay. Anybody else wants to add something? It's the whole Maiber is talking about the B'chol Ma'itcha
Bittul b'metzias.
as the Tachlis.
Bittul b'metzias.
Just throwing words. I have no idea what you're talking about.
The
Explain it to the McGill student or the Mirror Talmud. Pick your choice. But he's got to understand it too.
The idea of b'chol ma'itcha.
And translate it. I mean, we'll translate it for yourself. I mean, he doesn't fool himself. The McGill student, and our Mirror Talmud has made the effort to come to this table because he wants to apply it personally. So talk in personal terms. What does it mean? Hello? What are you talking about? What is this? What's the two Kabbalah sales? The two bittles. You're right. The first is bitla yes, second bitl mitzias, but you haven't helped. You haven't helped me.
First is putting yourself aside, and the second is even after refining yourself, then taking that self and devoting it to Hashem, to the avodah, to being mevatel that, not by putting it aside, but by using it to not for your own desires, but for the Yerushalayim's desire.
Yeah. So okay, good. We said that we use the language that's throughout the Maimer, framing it like this. You're using the model of a marriage again. It's very clear in the marriage because our relationship with Eibishter is in Nisuyin. Matan Torah is the Nisuyin. Actually, it's the Eidus and it's the Kedushin. And Nisuyin would be Lasid Lover. But Kedushin is already Ashes Ish. You need to get. We're learning now. We just started Nechus Gerish in Rambam. Right? Yesterday was the famous Kaifin no Yisach Yem Reitzani. So in a marriage, again, so are you supposed to enjoy your wife? What's the answer to that question? Yes or no? Absolutely yes. So there's two kinds of enjoyment and engagement. The beginning of the Avodah and then the Tachlis. The beginning of the Avodah is like dating and post-dating, but it repeats throughout the marriage, but it's very clear pre-chuppah, which is Matan Torah, and post-chuppah. This is the model. Marriage exists the way it does. All of its pratim only is a reflection of our relationship with the Eibishter. That's why it's called Kedushin. Kodesh mila b'garmei. So going out and dating, so what's the whole orientation then? Why are you settling on this girl? Why is she settling on you? It has to be, huh?
It's in it for me.
Has to be that way. So the Avodah of Sfiras HaOmer per se is the person needs to refine himself and for all the benefits that comes with that. And there's a long list and many levels. So then after the chuppah, then at chasana, so he doesn't enjoy it anymore, he becomes a robot, complete bittul, gemarno. This was the question you asked, Yankee, and we answered. So I'm not asking, just reframing it. So the answer is, as you're saying, does he enjoy her now? But what's the point here? Because you want me to enjoy you. That's a very different enjoyment. And the depth behind that is, because Yankee protests and says, no, she doesn't want you to enjoy her because she wants you to enjoy her. And she's right, because the depth of that is we're one, so of course. That's the pneumius, but the mind doesn't address that at some level of it all. But that's current throughout everything, and especially manifest be'emes in the first level. Why be an Eved? What are you breaking yourself for? You not enjoy this. You don't understand it necessarily. So why are you doing this? Be'emes in that first iskafia is the purest, because then there's I'm a yid. So that's we're one. So it's not articulated. It's just driving it in a very essential level. The whole process. It comes out b'shleimus and b'choma itcha. After the refinement and after the enjoyment and after the learning and after the pleasure and after the gishmak, and then it's all because that's what you want, and why do you want it in me? Because we're one. It's a very different Kabbalah style. I keep on saying, but everything comes back. Be'emes to the h'tshk. The Maimon of h'tshk is saying this, that the kavanah is to megala the etzem hanefesh. That's the Moishe Rabbeinu's avodah, the Raimahemda, that it permeate, not override, but it permeate and suffuse all of the koiches gluyim. And be'emes, that's diribet achtoinim. Diribet achtoinim is not surrender. It's surrender and engagement at the same time. Dir b'tachtonim means who's the tachton? The tachton is my heart and my feeling and the minusha of my life. That's where the Eibishter wants to be a part of. That's where your wife wants to be a part of. And dir b'tachtonim means dafka the small things which are not overtly related to the relationship. It's not the big moments of anniversaries and birthdays or Friday night dinners. It's the small incidental stuff that you have with millions of hundreds of people, whatever. But it's different with her. So the hello, good morning is different. Hello, good morning, or the smaller the interaction, be'emes, the more it's demonstrative of you are one. It's in the incidentals. That didn't have to be. They don't have so much meaning per se, other than they're just part of the details of life. That's b'primis, they have all the meaning. Yodo, we went to learn this at length, that the etzem of anything is revealed dafka in the extraneous details, not in the general klal and seer, but dafka in the details that don't seem to be even critical. That's where the etzem lies. Because why they're there? If they're not critical. Because inside the etzem they are. All right, so we started with Zion. The Tosfos bear two kinds of Allah's man. One is to tikkun, and the other is to toihu. Remember, this was yesterday. What's the difference between tikkun and toihu? It's not a numbers thing. More kalim, more less kalim, less but in quality. Meaning to say that the ikar of toihu, what defines it, is really a quality of that is higher than islapshus and kalim. It's not that there's happens to be only a small amount there, so the spills out. The be'etzem is not bislapshus. It's a bligvuldiker And whereas tikkun is the to begin with is measured, and therefore ribui kalim. So you tell me, friends, he says it here, just look at it. What is the avodah that connects us, that is mamshich, tikkun, atzilus lamata, as it were? What's the avodah, the parallel avodah? What are we doing? It's a few lines in the top. I think we have the same format. It's a few lines in the top of the page. V'zehu, it starts with v'zehu inyan. And what is it? Right, you see it? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines in the top. You can give me the Hebrew term. What does he say? What is it? What's the avodah?
Physical, mundane refinement.
He's just Hebrew, the famous Hebrew terms. You don't have the same lead as me? You don't?
Yeah, we do.
Show me.
Bitter hanitzutzim shebedvarim gashmim.
This is the avodah sfiras omer in the big picture, which is elevating the world. It's an orderly avodah. It's elevating the world, and it's making the world an orderly, beautiful. Huh? You don't have it?
We do.
You do.
We don't have the word v'zehu.
V'hu inyan.
Who inyan?
You're looking for the Zion. V'hu inyan birani tzutzis. Oh, sorry. Okay, or the dvarim gashmiyim. So this is the orderly elevation of the world. That's, as we explained, that's the chitzonistic or overt agenda of Torah mitzvahs, which is le'nitno ha-mitzvahs elo letzara ben es. Mitzvahs are not given other than to refine the person. It's a very strong statement. It almost sounds like it's precluding anything else, but that's the overt for thousands of years. This is the avodah. So that's mamshech atzilus lamata. What does it mean? Atzilus is a beautiful, godly, integrated, harmonious world. That's level 1. And it's very nice. But Abishter wants a crazy world. Crazy love. And that's the avodah to be mamshech of toihu. And what's the avodah? What's the avodah that is mamshech? The riboy oir is the toihu, the oir abligvol. That's the ava b'chol ma'itcha. He does everything in a very orderly way, but he's driven with a passion, and he pushes himself beyond the limits. All the expressions of b'chol ma'itcha, and that's the tachlis. So let's continue. That's where we're up to now. Ach halos man. Let's start again by the words ach halos man b'chinas atoyu. But so he just described now the avodah be mamshich tikkun. That's the orderly avodah, which includes seichel and understanding the each mitzvah and its effect and what it's being mamshich and the refinement and so on. That's all the avodah of halos man the tikkun. Ach halos man b'chinas atoyu. What is the avodah that we reach Toya, which is the Tachlis. That's the Avodah that's not this measured Avodah. And what is that? This is his Ava Rabba. This is a boundless love, Mesiras Nefesh, which is higher than Kelim. This is an Avodah where he's always pushing. How does it translate? He's always pushing the envelope. He doesn't get into a nice order and just nicely repeat things and adds a new insight and new Dvar Torah and a Nayar, and life is good and predictable. It's not. That is predictable. That's an Ava that's connected to Kelim, meaning an Ava engendered by understanding and appreciation, the beauty of it all, etc. And he appreciates that and he grows in it. So that's how in Allah's that's Mamshech Kedusha. Atzilis is a sacred, holy world, but Tikkun. So again, whereas so that's where the connection happens. Again, in a marriage, the same thing, and obviously so. If it isn't a crazy love, then it's not a marriage. And the craziness, it has its challenges. It can go the wrong way too. So there's tshuva. But if it's orderly and seichel and predictable, and it's nice, it's good for friends, but not for a marriage. Friends should be that way. Friends ought not be passionate and crazy about each other. They should be friends and appreciate each other and grow. But marriage has to be crazy. So now talking about matzah. So matzah has this nakuda of what? Of craziness, of going out of self. Because why? It's putting self aside. There's bechinas ayin. Matzah is the ayin he spoke about, to be seen even in nature. This is not filling the kelim, but going beyond. So that is a loss man lebchinas hatoyu. Matzah that's what this avodah is, what connects us. Again, in a marriage, it has to be throughout this deep bittul, this foundational bittul, the first one, and then later. That's avodah. So that it brings and arouses and reveals the bligvul shalamayla. And therefore, yesh ili b'matzah. So now we're explaining further what he said before, that there's a iloy in matzah. It's dry and tasteless, and it's iskafia, but there's a great virtue there. Over the actual avodah of engagements that's transformative. Like we said before, earlier, b'maylis bali tshuva, over tzadikim. Why? Because tshuva has to make radical changes. Bittul v'iskafia. It's got to go out as mitzias. So that's the advantage of his avodah, l'gabi tzadikim gemurim, over the one that never strayed and is perfectly righteous. And we had the whole beautiful arichas and the word gomor, invoking kelim, gemurim, and the two levels for trumba and for kodesh. You need another immersion in mikveh to go to kodesh. That's the maltshuva. That's the tzaddik learning tshuva. That's that bittul, that tefillah, from truma to kodesh. Remember, yeah. So the tzaddikim, he says, even though they're avodah b'chol v'achol b'shnei yitzirecha, what can be greater than that? They're serving the Eibishter, they refine the animal soul. They're not fighting with themselves, they're actually transformed themselves. But still, at the end of the day, that's what the result of that is. It's limited to his refinement and his self and his experience. So not saying that, forget that. It's both, as we said. Hanging the iskafia shebematzah. It has to be the Aveda Viskafia Matzah, Veheinif, it's Viskafia, the Ishapcha, the Sfiras Oimer, and the Refaim, the Sfiras Oimer. Sheideze Mamshichim, but it's the Toyo, but Kelim the Tikkun. Look at that. We're just coming from Chav Ches. Listen, instead of his words then. That we be Mamshich, the Oiris, the Toyo, we came together. That's what we said before, that the end is, yes, experience you and love you and enjoy this guy, but that's because that's what you want. And that is because we are one. So that's the Oiris, the Toyo, in Kelim the Tikkun. Vapizeh, continuing, Boven Geidel Malis in the Chilis Matzah. So now we understand the gewaltige getting in of a Chilis Matzah Yodo Nase Bekoiche will be a Cholta, the physical eating of the matzah gives the koyach and the Yechelish Shekol Echad V'Echad MiYisrael. It empowers every Jew, Gam B'Moinam V'Anoshim Shutim, the simple folk, L'Oirer U'Lahamshich Ha'Gila Yosei Naila. This is they draw down the highest Giluim Shinimshcha Ava Rabbi B'Chamayitcha to connect to the Eibush in the deepest level of Ava Rabbi. Veheinif, meaning to say, Shegam Be'ele Shele Is'at Inem Sheyachim Shetia Etzlam, he's a Galos Ha'ava Rabbi B'Chamayitcha. Even those at the present, they're not shaykh to have the revelation of this great love of B'Chamayitcha, this boundless connection. Mekomokim, nonetheless, Yuchel Gam Heim. They too are able lahamshich as gilim elamayla shnimish chadayav Rabbi Chamayitcha. They too, who's the they? That's us. Can be mamshich that this giloy, the bligvol of above, which comes as a result of the av Rabbi Chamayitcha al yedei kiyu mitzvahs achilas matzah begashmis. How's that? No, did we eat the matzah? We ate the matzah. No, so we shaykhs to all these inyanim. How this works, I don't know. I mean, since it's
Ulai Yeshleimar, that after the Ulai Yeshleimar, that after the Aveda of matzah, and you make a basic turnaround, you start the Aveda of the Sfiras Oimer, and then he tells you, well, matzah was the turning point. So Ula Yeshleimar, that's the Aveda of Pesach Sheni. It's a wake up call. It's a wake up call. Get back to the program of Iskafia. Ulai.
I heard the word Pesach Sheni. It's all I heard. So you're saying we got a second chance when we eat matzah Pesach Sheni. That's what you're saying?
Correct. Pesach Sheni, you get a second chance to really do it for the right cause.
But good.
Even though you have no...
Just saying what the Pella here is, that just eating physically the matzah begashmish, he's emphasizing that already puts everyone and makes everyone connected with mamshech, the ira bligvo, the aveda of b'chol ma'itcha, eat just by eating begashmish the matzah. Yuchel gam heim lahamshich as agilim v'lamaylish nimshich adayavar. He doesn't have the avarava b'chol ma'itcha, but he ate the matzah, so he's mamshich the inyan. That's what he says. We're certainly not going to argue with it.
They're right. Eat matzah every day at Pesach. Because of something.
Huh?
They were right. They eat matzah every day.
Yeah, they were for a four.
I think for the Muna.
Huh?
For the Muna.
For the Amunah, yeah, I saw it could be too. I saw, and as an answer to for someone for a four. Could be Amunah too. It goes together. Let's finish. Likewise, it's also a physical thing. You count the days. He's emphasizing the physicality of it. Eating the physical matzah and counting the imish. This is a very good thing. I mean, the whole thing is avodah, right? Working on yourself. Avarabba. And the Rabbi is saying that this is achieved, or at least we're connected to it, through the physical eating of matzah and the Counting of them. If you wondered, what am I accomplishing in this book here? Where is it? It's on the table here. 49 levels. I mean, what, really? So the Rebbe says it. You counted the Omer? There's the Indian there's the Indian happening. Shal Yodo mamshichim es agilu milamayla shnimshach hadayav b'chol levavcha. B'chol levavcha, which is this refinement in Ishapcha. It happens by counting the Emer, Pe'el Mamish, Gam Eilish, Adayin, Le'egil, is Galus, HaBelev. They don't feel this in the heart. It's not revealed in the heart. This is the great gift. He says, eat my matzah and count my Emer, and you're connected to the Inyanim. There's no footnote here even to tell us. Look, it says it somewhere else. Don't say it anywhere. Meridik. V'oidzos, not finished. Shall yidei kiyum ha-mitzvahs maisiyas, through fulfilling, moreover, the physical mitzvahs of matzah and tzviras ha'omer, niten koyach v'oiz. So first you said, it be'etzem you're connecting to all these levels. But moreover, we're also given the ability and the strength, that it should actually be revealed, not just essentially connecting to the Eidos, the Torah, and so on, but this Ava be revealed, both the level of B'chol Levavcha, the mitzvah Tzviras ha'omer, which is what Tzviras ha'omer is all about, mitzvah achilas matzah, and B'chol Moitcha, which we said is what matzah does, because that's its bittul. So by eating it and by counting it, we get the nesinas koyach that the union should be as galus, not just connected to it, but revealed consciously within us. Okay, that's a nice. When you count the Omer now, you got a new little fire burning there. You're not just marking time, and you know it says in the Sefer that there's and we say to the end, with Sfira L'mayla. You're connecting, and we're getting the koyach that should actually be bisgalas by us. Let's learn a little bit further. And this is the bed of affliction that our forefathers ate in Mitzrayim. The question was, we don't eat matzah because of what they ate in Mitzrayim. We eat matzah because of what happened when they left. So now we're going to answer the question, it seems. In a yesh base, there's two kinds of matzah. There's matzah that is called impoverished poor man's bread. There's matzah shira, there's rich matzah, shenilusha b'yayin, v'shemen, v'dvash v'chol, that is needed either wine or oil or honey or milk. Honey meaning from dates. V'achilik b'nei, the difference is shamatza shenikra sachameni ein ba'isnasus. Poor man's bread doesn't rise. It does not expand and ascend. Vein batam, and that has no taste. But rich matzah yesh ba'isnasus, it rises. In brackets he adds afilu shasa kol hayoyim b'le'isek. Even if he didn't touch it the whole day, so it begins to expand, it begins to ferment, it's not chametz. It's not chametz, not pidin, minat Torah, can eat it on Pesach, and not only that, minat din, the Sfardim eat it. Many people eat it. But you're not yotze the mitzvah eating matzah. If you don't work it, then it's interesting halacha that like regular matzah, as long as you're working it, it can never become chametz. That's the point. As long as there's avodah and you're pummeling it, it won't become chametz. You start pummeling it, then it starts to sour and become chametz. But matzah shira, even if it starts to expand, that's not lechem oini. V'yesh batam, it has taste. I'll tell you the two things are dependent on the other. What? The rising and the tastelessness, meaning shemisha ein ba'isnasos, if he's not if he's bottled, he doesn't have, isnasas means self-assertion in a non-good way. So and he doesn't have to find a reason and justification for everything. Until he doesn't get a good reason, he's not doing it. He does it because of iskafia bittul. And that's lechem oini. So the lechem oini, he said, what's the two things? He doesn't rise, he's not asking for a reason, and therefore it's simple because it's iskafia and bittul. Mashigi matzah shira, that's already, he's got an opinion, he wants an answer. That's engaging self. It's made with wine, oil, honey, and milk. And what are these for? In Yanim, Yayin is chachma and shemen is bina. Like oil pervades, so bina expands. But dvash v'cholav v'mechinas chesed gvura. The order is different. The dvash is gvura, and cholav is chesed. Shenimshochim imbayich adas. Chesed and gvura, of course, come from das. So these four things are describing the whole gamut of intellect and emotion. Basic intellect and emotion. Chesed and gvura being the primary attributes. And he adds in brackets, that's why Etzisol is called a lamb which flows. It's flowing from where? It's flowing from Chachma and Bina. And what is present there, fully resonant, is Cholav Advash, Chesed and Gvura, etc. Etzisol is a place where all of the midas are in full expression. Concluding, Veheinif, Ashira Meidalis Hafchos Hamidas. Matzah Ashir is a virtue. It's rich. It's a transformation of the emotions, and they're resonant and they're experienced. Like the Gila Moichen, through bringing to bear the intellect, which we learned earlier, the two opinions in the Yitzchayim. What's the kavana, the Moichen on Midas? It's both. Like we said in Siva, being Sfiras Ha'imel. V'lchein ein abal yedei chimutz. This person is not going to sour because he's full with Yiddishkeit and full with love and awe of God. The Yosef Chenes Yisabche, his transformation. But then he's going to bring out the Milo Dafkav Lechem Oini of matzah, Stam Matzah, not Matzah Ashir. Be'ez Hashem tomorrow. Wonderful. Everybody, Psoras Toivus.